Hi, I am Dr. Doris Wesley. I had spent several decades of my life consciously and subconsciously dealing with some of the conflicting effects of growing up without my father, without someone I could call dad. Like some of you out there, I grew up without a present father and told myself several stories, made decisions, and drew many conclusions to cope with and move along. I thought it was normal to experience everything going on in my life at that time. I assume you know the experience, or you can guess or at least imagine the experience of limp walking without knowing how it puts a strain on you. Or you know when you sit on an unbalanced chair despite its wobbly effect, but then you tell yourself that everything is okay when in actuality it isn't. This was my experience. Like my past self, you may still be walking around unaware that you are internalizing and expressing the fatherless daughter effect. I want you to know this. Daughters who grew up or are growing up without a functional relationship with their dad typically find their way in the world on their own. Each of these women or girls have quietly developed a self-made survival handbook in their mind. She has written her own rules according to what she has seen, heard, or experienced, and privately, subconsciously flips through the pages to figure out how to maneuver certain situations and manage her emotions. But unfortunately, many of our formulas are defective, keeping her cycling through the unfulfilling patterns and leaving her confused and frustrated. Perhaps your father picked up and left and never returned, or he left even before you knew him. Maybe at an early age your father passed away because of a tragic accident or due to health circumstances. Perchance your parents are divorced, thereby making your father really available to connect with you. Peradventure, your father checked out on you emotionally even though he was physically present. Or perhaps you never got to meet your father due to conflict-related issues like war, kidnapping, Holocaust, slavery, and you're still in search of him, or maybe it's just behind bars. Or maybe you had a father who was or is excessively addicted to drugs or other substances. Or your father just, as physically, emotionally, sexually, or expose you to other form of abuse. Or peradventure, you were given out to another home and it led to you having a stepfather you never chose, which was by design or default. Or you're just in this unhealthy, unending conflict, misunderstanding and disagreement with your father. All of these are some of the experiences that leads to fatherlessness, resulting from a father's absence, even though he is physically present, thereby creating daddyless daughters like you and me. And as Victoria Secunda puts it, the absence of a father in a childhood forever changes and shapes a daughter's identity and how she views the world herself. Not only is her connection to the first and most important man in her life sharply curtailed or extinguished, but all of her perceptions, all of her decisions, all of her future relationships and experiences are filtered through the early unimaginable loss that she's experienced. And as daddyless daughter, you might not be aware that you may be subconsciously making everything revolve around a single impactful experience, and that's where the danger lies. It wasn't until I deliberately walked through the process of awareness, acknowledgement, healing, forgiveness, and thorough transformation did I experience true freedom and inner strength, which reflected outwardly and made me blossom exponentially. As I often say, one of the biggest gaps experienced by daddyless daughter is the awareness and the transformational gap. And guess what? You are the only one who can actually close this gap that constantly keeps you stuck, and you know it. But I've got good news, great news. One way to close this gap is to make it to the Germ Daughters Network forthcoming 2-day virtual event taking place on Father's Day weekend, Friday, June 14th and Saturday, June 15th. This event is open to all women and girls who are experiencing or have experienced an absent, abusive, disconnected, flawed, unattached, or dysfunctional father-to-daughter relationship. If this describes your experience, see the information below to register and secure your spot. If you know of anyone who shares this experience, please consider informing them about the event and encouraging them to register too. This event will be attended by women from all walks of life who are very intentional about reclaiming, reframing, and redesigning their lives. At the Germ Daughters Network, we're very dedicated to transforming daddyless daughters into priceless germs, where you can stand in the light and be seen as you are. So come on in. Head on to www.doriswesley.com/philanthropy to register. You are about to have an intensive, immersive, interactive, and intimate experience. And I really do look forward to seeing you in the room.